Okay, so today we're gonna be dividing polynomials. We're gonna use long division. Okay, the the problem could be given in two different ways, like this, using the division symbol, or using the fraction bar. So anyway, since we using long division, we're gonna set it up as a long division problem. All right. So what we do is we're gonna set it up for long division. So I'm gonna put the dividend right here, and the divisor out here. The procedure is very similar as when you divide just regular numbers, right? So so just to refresh your memory, if you're dividing, for instance, 621 divided by 3, right? What do? You divide the first number here by that one. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then you multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract. Bring down the next one, right? And so on, right? In this case, 2 is less than 3, so I'm gonna add a 0. Bring the other one down and divide. 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract. Okay, it's just pretty much very similar to that. All right, so we're gonna be kind of using that. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna divide the first term here inside the box, right? The first term and the dividend by the first term and the outside and the divisor. So I'm gonna go ahead and divide 8x squared by 4x. What is 8x squared divided by 4x? You remember, when you're dividing, we divide the numbers, right? 8 divided by 4 is 2, and then we just subtract the exponents. 2 take away 1 is 1. X to the 1, or just x. So that's what I'm getting when I divide 8x squared by 4x. And now what do you do with this right here? You multiply, right? You're gonna be distributing 2x times 4x, 8x squared. You're always gonna get the same as that one. The first term is always gonna be the same. If you don't get the same, that means you didn't divide right. And then multiply 2x times 1 is positive 2x. And then we just subtract, right? That means you're gonna change the signs on the bottom to the opposite. So this one becomes negative. I will circle it to remind me that I already changed it. And this one goes from positive to negative as well. So what happens is cancels out, and then negative 18 minus 2 is negative 20x. What's the next term? Bring down the next term, and then divide. Negative 20x divided by 4x is what? Negative 20 divided by 4 is negative 5, right? And the x is cancelled out, right? And then again, we'll repeat the process again. Divide negative 5 by 4x is negative 20x. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. We subtract, that means you change signs to the opposite. Positive, positive, and everything's going to cancel out. So I get a 0 remainder. So my answer will be this right here. This right here is my answer. 2x minus 5. Okay guys, divide the first term here by the first term out here. Once you get it, multiply. 2x times 4x, 8x squared. 2x times 1, 2x. Subtract, change signs on the bottom row to the opposite. This one becomes negative, negative, cancels out every time. The first terms cancel out. Negative 18 minus 2 is negative 20. Bring down the next term, the last term, and then repeat the process again. Divide negative 20x by 4x, negative 5. and then multiply. Negative 5 times 4x, negative 20, negative 20x. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5, but then they both change to the opposite, which is positive, and then we get a 0 remainder. So that'll be the answer for that one right there. Okay, so this is our second example. Okay, so let's do it again. We divide what? We divide the first term inside the box by the first term outside the box, right? The first term in the dividend divided by the first term in the divisor. So let's do that. 6x squared divided by 2x is what? Or you can also ask yourself, 2x times what gives you 6x squared? That's another way of doing it. 2x times what gives you 6x squared? That'd be what? That'd be 3x, right? Because 2x times 3x is 6x squared. There you go. What do you do with this 3x? We multiply by these two down here. 3x times 2x, 6x squared. And 3x times negative 1 is negative 3x. Okay, you always get the same term as the one up there. Now we change the signs to the opposite. This one becomes negative, and this one becomes positive. So these always cancel out, right? The first column always cancels out. And then we combine these. 7 plus 3 is 10x. Bring down the last term. And now we repeat the whole process again. Divide the first one here by the first one out there. 10x divided by 2x is 5. Just 5, right? Positive 5. 5 times 2x, 10x. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. We change signs to the opposite. This one becomes negative, and this one positive. That's going to cancel out. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. Now, in this case, I have a remainder, but that's fine. All you have to do is, since it is a positive 3, I'm going to go ahead and put plus 3 over the divisor, 2x minus 1. And that's going to be my answer. That is my answer. So that's in case you get a remainder. Okay guys, next example, right? The only thing that I see difference is now I have an extra term, so that means that you have to go one more step, but the procedure is the same exact thing. Divide m to the third by m, that gives you what? Or m times what will give you m to the third, that'd be m to the second, right? Because when you add the exponents, you get m to the third, right? Once you get this one, multiply m squared times m is m to the third. You're always gonna get out the same one as that one. M squared times negative 7 is negative 7m squared. Now we subtract, that means you change signs to the opposite. This one becomes negative, and this one becomes positive. This cancels out. Negative 6 plus 7 is 1m squared, or just m squared. Bring down the next term. Divide m squared by m is positive m. N times m is m squared. N times negative 7 is negative 7m. And now we subtract again, change signs to the opposite. Negative, and now becomes positive. Cancel. We cancel these two, and then negative 16. Negative 16 plus 7 is what? Negative 9. Negative 9m. Correct? What do we do with this one? Oh no, before I do that, I need to bring down the last term. Okay, now what do I do again? I repeat the whole thing again. Negative 9m divided by m is negative 9. right? Because negative 9 times m is negative 9m right there. So let's multiply negative 9 times m is negative 9m. Again, you're always gonna get the same number on the first column. Negative 9 times negative 7 is positive 63. We subtract them, you change to the opposite, positive, negative. So the remainder is 0, so my answer will be just this right here. There's no remainder, so that right there will be my final answer. Oh, and that was example number 3, by the way. That was number 3. So let's try this one now. Okay, if you want, before I start doing it, you can maybe pause it and try to do it on your own, and then when I do it, you know, you can check what you're doing wrong, right? That's the best way to learn. So let's do a divide. 12x to the third by 4x. In other words, 4x times what gives you 12x to the third? That'll be 3x to the second, right? 3 times 4 is 12. 2 plus 1 is 3 right there. Once you get this one, again, multiply by this one. You know you're gonna get the same as the one up there. 3x squared times 3 is 9x squared. We subtract, that means that goes to negative. So it's that one. This cancel out. Negative 11 minus 9 is negative 20 x squared. We'll repeat the whole process again. Divide negative 20x squared by 4x. That gives you negative 5x, right? Negative 5x times 4x gives you negative 20x squared. Oh, I forgot to bring down the next term. Okay, so again, negative 20x squared divided by 4x is negative 5x. Once you get this one, multiply negative 5x by 4x gives you negative 20x squared. Negative 5x times 3 is negative 15x. Again, negative 5x times 4x is negative 20x squared. And negative 5x times 3 is negative 15x. We change signs to the opposite. Positive, positive. That cancels out. And then 9 plus 15 is 24x. Bring down the next term. Okay, now what do you do now? You divide the first one here by the one out there. 24x divided by 4x is positive 6. And now we multiply. 6 times 4x is 24x. And 6 times 3 is positive 18. We subtract. And I get as the remainder again. So this right here will be my answer. That right there is the answer. Okay, so let's try this example here. Okay, let's say that's the case. I'm trying to divide those two polynomials using long division, right? But then you have to make sure that before you start doing it, you must have the correct order. They must be in standard form. That means from the highest to the lowest exponent. So in this case, I see the highest one is this one here. And then from there you go down. So I'm gonna have 3x to the third, and then what comes next? Minus 5x squared. Don't forget to keep the sign. And then positive 10x, and then minus 3. Right? Same thing over here. The divisor must also be in the descending order from highest, the x1 and 1, which is x0. So that is a correct order. Thus I have to work it out. If you put it like this, it's not gonna be right. From highest to lowest exponent. 3, 2, 1, 0. 1, 0 over here as well. Okay, so now we try to do it. Okay, from this same thing we've been doing. Divide 3x to the third by 3x. That gives you 1x squared, or just x squared. X squared times 3x is 3x to the third. X squared times 1 is positive 1x squared. If you want to put the 1, that's fine. Then we subtract, change signs to the opposite. Negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6 x squared. Bring down the next term. We repeat the whole process again. Divide negative 6x squared by 3x. That gives you negative 2x. Negative 2x times 3x is negative 6x squared. And negative 2x times 1 is negative 2x. We subtract now, means you change signs to the opposite. 10 plus 2 is 12x. Bring down the last term. And divide one more time. 12x by 3x is positive 4. 4 times 3x is 12x. 4 times 1 is 4. We subtract, change signs to the opposite. This cancels out, that gives you negative 7. So in this case, I got a remainder. That is minus 7 over my divisor, 3x plus 1. And this right here, guys, is the answer. Okay, guys, what if that is the case? What if the problem is given to us like that, right? If you notice, I'm missing the xm over here. Alright, so don't forget, if you give it something like that, you must have an x term here. See, if the highest one is 3, you have to go from the 3 down, all the way down. So you must have an x to the third, an x squared, an x, and then just a number by itself. Can't be missing any exponents from the highest one given. So in this case, I got 3x squared. So I'm gonna put 3x squared. I'm gonna set it up for long division, 3x squared. And then, like I said, I'm missing the x term. So when you do that, all you have to do is put plus 0x. If you're missing the x to the second, you put 0x to the second. In this case, I'm missing the x term, and then plus 6. Are you gonna see y in a little? Divided by x minus 4. Right? That's it. That is the way that you must set this up, right? So let's do it. 3x squared divided by x is what? 3x, right? Because 3x times x is 3x squared. And 3x times negative 4 is negative 12x. See, notice that if this wouldn't have been here, the 12x would have fallen right under the 6, and you wouldn't be able to combine the 6 and the x term. So you must have that to avoid having that. Okay, so you must put the 0x there. So let's subtract now. Goes to negative. This one goes to positive. That cancels out. 0 plus 12 is 12x plus 6. Divide 12x. 12x divided by x is 12. Right? And then 12 times x is 12x. 12 times negative 4 is negative 48. Negative, positive, cancels out. 6 plus 48 is 54. Don't worry if you get a high number like that for the remainder. That is normal. I mean, that could happen, so don't worry about it. Just put plus 54 over the divisor x minus 4. So this right here will be my answer. Okay, guys. In this case, I noticed that I'm missing the x squared term and then the x term, right? Because the highest one is x to the third, and then I cannot be missing any terms between the highest one and the number. So I'm gonna fill it out with 0. So this how you do it. You put x to the third plus 0x squared plus 0x minus 1 divided by x minus 1. That's how you set it up. So let's do it. X to the third divided by x is x to the second. X to the second times x is x to the third. X to the second times -1 is -1x squared. We subtract minus plus, that cancels. 0 plus 1 is 1x squared, or just x squared, same thing, plus 0x. Divide x squared by x gives you positive x, right? Because x times x squared. Again, x times x squared. X times -1 is -1x. Change signs to the opposite, negative, positive, cancel. And then 0 plus 1 is 1x, or just x. Bring down the last one, minus 1. X divided by x is positive 1. 1 times x is x. 1 times -1 is -1. Change signs to the opposite. And they cancel out to 0. So that's my answer. That's my answer right there. Okay, guys, what about this one? Okay, the only thing that I see difference, I now have 3 terms in the divisor, but we do the same exact thing. Same process. Divide 20x to the third by 5x squared. That means the first one inside the box by the first one outside the box. That'll give you what? In other words, 5x squared times what gives you 20x to the third. That's another way of doing it. That'd be 4x, right? Let's try it. 4x times 5x squared is 20x to the third. 4x times -3x is negative 12x squared. And then 4x times 2 is positive 8x. We subtract, that becomes negative, positive, and negative. That cancels out. 23 plus 12 is 35x squared. We add these two up to negatives. That's minus 21x. And then bring down the last term. And now do it one more time. 35x squared by 5x squared gives you positive 7. 7 times 5x squared is 35x squared. 7 times -3x gives you negative 21x. And 7 times 2 is positive 14. Change signs to the opposite. This cancels. So it's 2. And then 9 minus 14 is what? Negative 5. Minus 5 over the divisor. And this is my answer. Okay guys, last example, right? Let's see it. Let's look at this. The setup for long division. I'm gonna put the dividend inside the box from highest to lowest exponent. Don't forget, if it's not in the right order, you rearrange the terms to make it, in descending order of the variable. So the highest one is 2x to the third, right? The 3 is the highest one, so I'm gonna have 2x to the third. what comes next? I have to go from there down, x squared, so x squared right there, plus 4x squared, and then I see the 5, but I'm missing the x term, so I'm gonna put plus 0x, and then minus 5. Same thing with the divisor, highest to lowest exponent, x1, x0, so I'm gonna have to put x plus 3. Okay guys, that's how you set it up. Okay, let's do this one more time. We divide 2x to the third divided by x, or x times what gives you 2x to the third, that's gonna be 2x squared, right? X times 2x squared is 2x to the third, so let's do it. 2x squared times x again is 2x to the third. 2x squared times 3 is positive 6x squared. We subtract, minus, that cancels. 4 minus 6 is negative 2x squared. Bring down the next term. Divide negative 2x squared by x, that gives you negative 2x. Negative 2x times x is negative 2x squared. Negative 2x times 3 is negative 6x. We subtract, means you change signs on the bottom row to the opposite. That's going to cancel out. 0 plus 6x is 6x. Bring down the negative 5. And divide for the last time. 6x by x is positive 6. 6 times x, 6x. 6 times 3 is positive 18. We change the signs of the bottom row to the opposite. That cancels out. Negative 5 negative 5 minus 18 is negative 23. And that's gonna be my remainder. So I'm gonna put minus 23 up here over the divisor, which is x plus 3. And that, guys, should be my answer. This up here.